The battle of the bull versus bear babies rages on at the bottom of this potential massively big breakdown pattern. One secret mega indicator gives us the exact price that Bitcoin will need to hold if this is to be a pumpy bust off above 30K in the next few weeks. And even bigger than that, you're going to want to see this. Right now, the price of Bitcoin teeters on the edge as it's extremely close to breaking down out of a few short-term patterns, potentially to a very big target here. But more importantly than that, we're going to be jumping into two absolutely groundbreaking charts. One of them specifically has not been wrong over the past 13 years. And what it's telling us about Bitcoin's price and where it will go, if this is to remain bullish at all, is absolutely just, extremely big. So if we absolutely want to dive on right in, this gets extremely big here. So the GBM indicator, if you guys follow me on Twitter, I'm sure you've seen this, but the most important thing about this is that this middle pink line here on this chart, because once price has revisited this level, which we're doing pretty much very, very close to right now, and I'll tell you that exact price on this chart, it's been the beginning, pretty much the best time to get into these major bull market rallies here. The only exception, well, to the dumpy side, that's been true every time. To the pumpy side, the only exception was obviously March of 2020. But in just a few short weeks, it then did confirm and did validate the beginning of the bull market. So even though we got that giant flash crash, ultimately it did not destroy the structure of the market, and it ended up, going on a strong rally there. But first I want to talk about this. So if we look on the very short-term time frames for Bitcoin, right now we're kind of retesting. We're right there. 27.5, 27.6 is a retest of the bottom of this level of uptrending support, now turned resistance, most likely for Bitcoin. And we've gotten the initial bounce in the high $25,000 range, but Bitcoin, if it would initiate a pump here, will need a lot of juice. And I'm not convinced yet that it's going to be possible. Anything can happen in the next few hours, short term, but ultimately, if Bitcoin actually wants to get bullish, there's a lot of things that need to happen. Primarily, it would need to, if it happened within the next couple of days, it would need to get above 28,000 US dollars, which we're not like super far from right now. Actually, it would have to get above like the high 28,000s because there is a downtrending level of resistance. So, the longer time goes on, those price targets change because of the descending and ascending levels of support and resistance. So, if it would happen pretty much the rest of this month, it would need to get above like 28.5. So for the next 2 weeks, if Bitcoin doesn't break above 28,500, there's not much to be said for price. And on this chart as well, this is really big because not only are we running into the resistance on this uptrending level of previous support now turned resistance, most likely. What we're also seeing is that this very critical area between 27.1 and 27.5, 27.1 and 27.5 thousand US dollars is exactly where Bitcoin so far has wicked up to and gotten rejected on. And this is the zone where if Bitcoin if it's going to have any positive momentum, it clearly obviously needs to break above this. But at this point, if we get rejected here, I think we all know what's in the cards in terms of which direction we're going to be moving. And more importantly, we'll talk about price. But as well, we talked about this in the last video. 26,000 remains very strong. This pivotal line right here has been kind of a determining factor for major moves. Every time that Bitcoin has touched on this line, a major move has followed. And it just so happens the last few major moves have been bullish, where all of the other previous major moves were bearish for the previous year. So we had a year of every time Bitcoin would touch this line, massively bearish move. Now, this is our potential third time touching this, where if we have a bullish break, it would be the third in a row of a bullish bust. It started becoming bullish back in January 16th of 2023. And now this is a make or break moment. And obviously, I still think that coming down to the $23,000 to $24,000 range is absolutely possible. Nothing is out of the cards yet until we would concretely break some of these price targets that I mentioned, like 28,500. But on the longer term chart, again, momentum looks to be shifting more bullish. But if we go back to this chart, the GBM indicator, it's the Gigabust Momentum Indicator. This is a very big indicator. And as you can see, when Bitcoin, this happens basically every 4 years, when Bitcoin is below these lines here, specifically below the pink line, and then breaks above them, that is a pretty good time to buy for the entire cycle, historically. And right now we're slightly above that. And if we actually go to this chart, we can see here. But what you notice too is that when we get these pullbacks, because we absolutely have gotten pullbacks. For example, here, we broke above it and then got pullbacks. It held though, back in summer of 2020. It held at this pink line. So the dump only really begins if we cannot hold the pink line. And right now we are holding it, but we haven't even come down to it necessarily yet. For Bitcoin to come down to that, it would need to be about 24,800-ish. But you know, it can dip a little bit below that. So let's just say 20, let's round right now because it is trending down to 24,500. If it comes down to there, I think there's a very good chance that, you know, that's must hold support. I think that's like must hold. If we're going to trend up for the next month or so, I think that's absolutely necessary. And, you know, as you can see, I mean, just looking at this chart, we have spent the last couple of months getting above this. Now it is trying to turn this massive band into support. Also, the middle band here, this pink, remember, this is exactly where it got rejected for, you know, about 4 or 5 months before plummeting from 46K down to 17K. So that was a very big, the middle band here was just very important for price. And as I'm recording again, we're on this first band here, the light blue one. So we're not there quite yet. But, you know, if we have a dump down to this level here, well, also that would coincide with a breakdown of this pattern. So that actually lines up of both these patterns. That would actually be a price target that this breakdown would bring us down to. So that makes perfect sense in terms of from technical levels. But yeah, ultimately what I'm saying is if we come down to 24,500 but hold it, that's very bullish. If we come down to 24,500 and don't hold it, then there's a very good argument to be made that we could actually trend lower. But also, James V. Stratton on Twitter highlighted this. The next bullish Bitcoin catalyst is for the realized price to get above long-term holder RP, less than an $800 difference now. You can see realized price is this orange line, and LTH realized price is this purple big block, big rectangle type vibes. Very big. Interestingly enough, he says here, each time this flipping has occurred, it has happened mainly in June, and we're approaching June. It happened in the August 2012 halving, or it happened in August 2012, June 2016, June 2019, and will it be also in June 2023? There are so many things that are lining up on these charts, which are interesting. You know, like, for example, this, 4 years. He's talking about this then also every couple of years, and well, he's saying in June of, you know, something similar with this happening. So my opinion on this is that I don't think you can predict everything by just looking at the past. But so far, Bitcoin cycles, if you want to pick one thing for Bitcoin that is more reliable than any piece of data historically we have for Bitcoin, cycles are the most robust thing. And so far, right, that can always change. But cycles have been your best indicator. And what the cycles are telling us now is that we are exiting the most dumpy phase and pretty much in that zone to where the best opportunities to make the most money begin now. And you know, to put it simply, if you're in now and you wait a year and a half, history would tell you that you're about to catch the majority of this move and you're about to make the majority of the profit that is possible in the cryptocurrency market. And if you want to trade, get absolutely massive deposit bonuses on BitGet and Femex. I believe I'm still up around 17 or 18,000 on my current open trades. In addition, I have 5 more limited time spots. The first 5 people that sign up and kind of apply for the XPT, Unlimited XPT whitelist, you are able to do that below. As well, anyone that signs up using my Femex link below can also earn up to an additional 10,000 XPT simply by trading on the platform, trading anything. So that is a bonus that's primarily just for people that are trading. If you're not going to trade, then you don't accumulate free XPT by doing that. Without further ado, it's for me.